We are here at the Bedford Village Inn, and as you can see right there, Lawrence is at the Red Arrow in Concord, New Hampshire.
Hey, good morning, family. That's dedication. Now, it is the weather condition here. It's much better than Iowa, but make no mistake about it, it's still cold.
It is cold.
So, Lawrence, first I got to apologize. I read your line at the end. So
it's okay.
I got so
I like to share.
You're so excited to be here.
Right. I just thought there's no way they'd stop me in the middle, and they did. And by the way, Steve, did that fan from 4 years ago graduate?
I would imagine.
They graduated.
Absolutely.
They left their uniforms behind.
So, Lawrence, 4 years ago, we were here in this very room, and we woke up everybody in this hotel with that marching band. And all of the anchors on Fox all day long were complaining about, I cannot believe Fox and Friends had a marching band outside of my window this morning.
And we have not learned our lesson.
Well, here's the thing.
We decided to do it again.
Yeah. We are doing it again. Last time we were here, my room was right back there. And so right through Hannity, I was, the shows were keeping me awake. I think we've all moved to another facility.
Right. I'm not in this.
We're not staying in this hotel, but I think a lot of the crew is, so we apologize. Thank you for giving us good television.
Yes, indeed. All right. Anyway, yesterday when Lawrence and I were on the ground already here in New Hampshire, the news broke mid-afternoon that Ron DeSantis had dropped out of the race through his support behind Donald Trump. And suddenly, Nikki Haley actually got what she wanted. She wanted Nikki Haley, clearly the underdog going into this week. She wanted a one-on-one, and she's got it now.
Yeah, Lawrence, you spent the day with Donald Trump. Congratulations on getting that interview. You were with Nikki Haley. That's awesome. So now we're down to two. We started with, 14 or 11 people in this race, and now we're down to two. And the big primary, the first in our country, is tomorrow. Yeah,
this is how it sounded. Ron DeSantis made the tough decision to say, I can't see a road to victory. Watch.
I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents.
Well, just to bring up what happens to his 5 to 7% in New Hampshire, maybe South Carolina, he said 62% of likely GOP voters in New Hampshire who selected DeSantis first selected Trump second.
Right.
So logic, Lawrence, would lead you to the fact that Donald Trump will gain from this.
Yeah, you got to give Ron DeSantis credit, though. He is America's most popular governor, very conservative, a hero to a lot of people within the conservative movement, but looked at the money, looked at the path, and said, look, I got a little bit to continue, but I just don't think that the Republican Party is ready for me to be the president just yet. And he kept his commitment. He said that he was going to support the nominee, and by his logic, he feels like Donald Trump is going to win it. I also had the opportunity to ask the former president about Ron DeSantis yesterday. This is what he had to say. Watch. Ron DeSantis, you supported him to be governor in Florida. You tell the story about how you thought that in return he should have supported you. It's a loyalty thing for you. Anyway, he decided to run, but now he's getting out of the race. Yeah. My question to you is there a moment where y'all can come back together? Because y'all really were friends before. Is that possible?
Well, I endorsed him. I didn't know him as well as you might think, but I did endorse him, and I had some fun with it because I watched somebody who was not in the race, and all of a sudden he was in the race, and then he did a good job as governor, so I was happy with that. But I was disappointed when they asked him whether or not he'd run, and he said, I have no comment, because to me, when you say no comment, that means you're running. And we took it, I think I took it quite seriously. And it doesn't matter now because he got out.
So that's water under the bridge now between
totally. As far as I'm concerned, look, he endorsed me. He endorsed me. And we have policies very similar, actually. I think those people will all come to me.
Is there a possibility, since you say it's water under the bridge. He can be vice president or serve in your cabinet. He hasn't asked for any of those positions,
No,
I
he
don't
hasn't.
think yet.
No, he
But is there a possible of the joining of forces?
Well, it's probably unlikely, but, I have to be honest, everything's a possibility, but I think it's highly unlikely. I have a lot of great people, and I have great people that have been with me right from the beginning.
What is your message to someone that would have voted for Ron DeSantis or supported them? What do you tell them now that he's endorsed you?
Well, I think it just, it sort of magnifies, if I can say that, because he and I had look, I want strong borders, he wanted strong borders. I want low taxes. I gave you the largest tax cut in history. Nobody ever, bigger than the Ronald Reagan tax cut. He wants that. I want a strong military. He wants that. He doesn't want wars, although I may be a little bit even more so in that not wanting wars. We have wars in places that nobody ever heard of before, and we're losing. You talk about blood and wealth. We lose so stupidly. And a lot of the things that he wanted, I wanted. And I think, in fact, I noticed people commentary, they're saying, well, all of those people that would be for him would be for Trump. And so I was honored that he endorsed me this quickly. I mean, it's not easy. Look, it's not easy. He fought hard, spent a lot of money, and a lot of people thought he'd do well. I was leading from the beginning, just so you understand. And I did very well in Florida, more votes than anybody ever got. I got more votes in Florida than anybody ever got. But he was doing well. And I think he did the right thing. I don't, look, I can talk about somebody else's campaign. I didn't see a path. I don't see a path for her at all.
So as you can see, the former president said there's water under the bridge, but he also said there's really no difference between him and Ron DeSantis. And I think that's the point that I've been making all along as I travel across the country. It's not that the voters hate Ron DeSantis. They actually like him. They feel like he's the next generation of MAGA. They just feel like the work that Donald Trump was doing before is unfinished. And so I think at some point you will see a Ron DeSantis reemerge on the presidential stage.
Yeah, he's only 45 years old. He has a beautiful family, a lovely family. He has a wonderful resume. And, when you run a political campaign, sometimes it's just not your year. I think the base of Donald Trump just said we want to give him another year, or possibly Nikki Haley. We'll learn a little bit more tomorrow. But Ron DeSantis ran the best campaign possible. He hit 99 counties in Iowa. He was on the ground constantly. He did the Chuck Grassley thing with hitting all the counties. He had major endorsements with the governor, Kim Reynolds, and then he had the governor, the evangelical leader in Iowa, Bob Vander Plaats. He's a leading conservative, and I don't think this is the end for him.
Well, it's interesting because I talked to him in Iowa, and he sounded like he was all in, just as far as you could possibly go. I would, and for him to drop out the day pretty much right before the big primary, this is much like Vivek dropped out last week just before the big Iowa caucuses, and then they threw their support to Donald Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if Ron DeSantis got a call from some of his donors and said, you know what, you ran a good race, but it's time to say, okay, it's not going to work for me this time. I wouldn't be surprised if they said, drop out now, and we will support you in a big way in 2028, which ultimately, and you look at everything he said yesterday, he's very hopeful about the future. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.